but it does mean that you will be uh, leaking opportunity. Okay. It means that, let's say you could create a 10 out of 10 on the tension scale, and now because of that, you can really only get to a 7. Think about it like trying to win a tug of war while you're on ice. If you can't get stability, you can't get power. Okay. And this is one of the number one things that we see with women, because as women age, their pelvises are structured in a way that are more flat than men, and so are their rib cage. Okay. And what ends up happening for them with prolactin and different things from pregnancy is you have more movement in the pelvis. So one of the keys to creating strength and hypertrophy in the glutes is making sure that we focus on pelvic stability. So Joey, what things come to mind for you that you think we should point out for them about signs that maybe the pelvis isn't stable, or things we can come back to later to talk about techniques that we could use to strengthen those.
Yeah, one of the things that I notice the most when people are failing to really get good results is I think that they're just unfamiliar overall with like the actual range of motion of these like joints and the muscles. And because of that, I think a lot of competitors will falsely think that more range of motion is better. And so what that means is that they'll be moving through their lumbar, they'll be moving through like multiple joints at once instead of focusing on the glutes. The glutes have gotten maximally lengthened or maybe not even, and then they'll start moving through their lumbar or like start rounding their spine, or they just don't have a good enough foundation. So when they go to initiate with their glutes, they're getting the majority of movement through their spine instead. And so you end up like not really training anything well because it's just not creating a stable foundation for you to load. There are some exercises and stuff that I like to encourage people. Like, let's move to the next slide here. I mean, so kind of like what I was alluding to before, it's like when you're training somebody, like the difference between bodybuilding training and athletic training is that athletic training is basically it's like a concert of movement where you're trying to just produce maximum amount of force through a particular range of motion. And that can involve multiple joints and multiple muscles and basically training the movement itself. And sometimes that can work for hypertrophy, but a lot of times with bodybuilding, the idea is that we're maximizing tension on a very specific muscle fiber. And so what that means is that full range of motion looks different than maybe what you imagine it to be. And so when you're actually in the gym and you don't have somebody looking and watching you to help you to determine what's your ideal range of motion, you could be moving in a way that's not going to be productive for you to grow your muscle optimally.